Hello everyone. Today we continue with the second video in our series summarizing key points in Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. Not sure what to call the series yet. I started with the name Just the Facts Peterson as a play on Peterson's propensity to be rather verbose, but now I am leaning more towards 12 Rules Made Simple. Anyway, today we continue the series by closing out my final analysis of Rule 2. Treat yourself as someone you're responsible for helping. If you remember correctly from the last video, this chapter is aimed at helping people who are particularly self-loathing. It seeks to answer the question as to why someone would choose to forego taking life-saving medication, but at the same time administer their pet's medication to the letter. Dr. Peterson begins this chapter by laying out the foundation for his metaphysics he uses to examine other topics in later chapters. To summarize, the key points are: 1. Reality is also comprised by the subjective experiences of individuals as well as objects. This is called being with a capital B. Individuals perceive the world and events as animated and having personalities, order and chaos, male and female. The proper way of being is balancing order and chaos in your own life. Have one foot solidly in both spheres, then meaning will spring forth inside you when this occurs. Simply go back to the first video if you don't remember these points clearly. At this point in chapter 2, Dr. Peterson begins to use the Bible to further his points. This is certainly a unique way of doing things, and Christians in particular have flocked to Dr. Peterson and looked to him almost like a messiah for helping to bring their religion more to the mainstream. But is Dr. Peterson really a Christian? Does he believe the events in the Bible actually happened? Since Dr. Peterson stubbornly refuses to answer these questions, as evidenced here,
people often ask me, do you believe in God? Which I don't like that question. I don't know what the person means by believe or God. And they think they know. And the probability that they construe belief and construe God the same way I do is virtually zero.
well, we're only left to guess. And my guess is no. Dr. Peterson is not a Christian. So why does he reference the Bible so much? Well, my guess is that Dr. Peterson examines history through a Darwinist perspective. The longer something has been present in history, the truer it must be. And since the Bible has survived for close to 2,000 years, it must hold some type of wisdom. It helps explore aspects of the human condition that are difficult for science to get to. This is in large part also the reason why Dr. Peterson is a traditionalist. Dr. Peterson starts off with Genesis 1 and quickly goes on to Genesis 2 with Adam and Eve and the events of the fall. He focuses particularly on the events that occur after Adam and Eve eat the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. They both become self-conscious for the first time and aware of their nakedness. Shame is what they feel. Consciousness brings out their vulnerabilities to the forefront for the first time ever. This makes Adam feel unworthy to stand next to God when he appears. This is something I'm sure every person can relate to, especially with social media where the most beautiful, brightest, and successful individuals are always put on display. But self-consciousness does something else. It makes you aware of your own deficiencies, shortcomings, and proclivity for evil. Only you are aware of all your faults, and how can anyone possibly love something as wretched as yourself? And so, using the Bible as our guide, we finally understand why some people take better care of their pets than themselves. An animal acts on pure instinct, while a human has free choice. If they choose selfishness, laziness, cruelty, or resentment, how is that person worthy of good care, even if it is yourself? What is the solution for someone that is stuck in this cycle of self-loathing? The answer lies at the beginning with Genesis 1. In the beginning, God brought order to chaos through speech. He created the mountains, the skies, and the plains, and all the rest with speech. And several times in the Bible, this is described as good. So this is the way out of self-loathing. Help bring order from chaos in your own little corner of the world. Pursue what is meaningful, not what makes you happy. This is another key point from Dr. Peterson. God is not a real entity. He is an ideal that people should strive to emulate. Don't be like Adam and Eve who hid from God the second they became self-conscious. Accept your faults and past transgressions. Don't wallow about the past, ask yourself what is something good and meaningful you could do right now, and then do it. Then meaning will spring forth inside you, and this will give you the confidence to face the world and walk next to God instead of hiding in shame. And that essentially concludes chapter 2. Basic self-help advice, but the way Dr. Peterson comes to it is truly unique and refreshing. I hope you liked the summary, and please don't be afraid to comment and subscribe if you want to keep up with other chapter analysis of 12 rules I will be doing in the future. That's it for now, and I'll catch you all next time.